Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. We can start, Prabhu. Devotees will start joining. Dear devotees, welcome, warm welcome on the auspicious occasion of Mahashivratri. Today we are very happy to have the association of His Grace Gauri Chandra Gopinath Poo. He'll be sharing Bhagavad Gita in 4th canto, 11th chapter, 31 to 32nd verses. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you very much. My humble obeisance to all the assembled Vaishnavas here, seeking their blessings. Before I start on this session today, a warm welcome to all of you and to wish you happy Shivaratri as well. Prabhu, you are able to see this screen?
Yes, yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 11. Swayambhu Manu advising Dhruva Maharaj. Text number 31 and 32. Samyacharosham Bhadram Te Pratipam Shreyasham Param Shrutena Bhuyasya Rajan Agadena Yata Mayam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear King, just consider what I have said to you, which will act as a medicinal treatment upon disease. Control your anger, for anger is the foremost enemy of the spiritual realization. So today's topic will be, this is the key verse, anger is the foremost enemy. That would be the topic for today's discussion. I wish all good fortune for you. Please follow my instruction. Purport. Dhruva Maharaj was a liberated soul, and actually he was not angry with anyone, but he was the ruler. It was his duty to become angry for some time in order to keep a law and order in this state. His brother Uttama was without fail, yet he was killed by one of the yakshas. It was the duty of Dhruva Maharaj to kill the offender life for life, because Dhruva was the king. When the challenge came, Dhruva Maharaj fought vehemently and punished the yakshas sufficiently. But anger is such that if one increases, it increases ultimately. In order, Dhruva Maharaj, in order that Dhruva Maharaj's kingly anger not exceed the limit, Manu was kind enough to check his grandson. Dhruva Maharaj could understand the purpose of grandfather and immediately stopped the fighting. The word Shrutena Bhuyasya, by constantly hearing, are very important in this verse. By constantly hearing about devotional service, one can check force of anger, which is detrimental to the process of devotional service. Srila Parshit Maharaj said that constant hearing of pastimes of the Lord is the panacea for all the material diseases. Let me repeat, this is a very important statement. Hearing of the pastimes of the Lord is the panacea for all material diseases. Everyone, therefore, should hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. By hearing, one can always remain in equilibrium, and thus the progress of spiritual life will not hamper. Prabhupada is giving a solution for anger control. Dhruva Maharaj becoming angry with the miscreant was quite appropriate. There is a short story in this connection about a snake who became a devotee upon instruction by Narada, who instructed him not to bite anymore. Since ordinary snake's business is to falsely bite other living entities, as a devotee, he was forbidden to do so. Unfortunately, people took advantage of this non-violence on the part of the snake, especially the children, who began to throw stones at him. He did not bite anyone. However, because it was the instruction of his spiritual master, after a while, when the snake met his spiritual master Narada, he complained, I have given up the bad habit of biting innocent living entities, but they are mistreating me by throwing stones at me. Upon hearing this, Narada Muni instructed him, don't bite, but do not forget to expand your hood as if you are going to bite. Then they will go away. Similarly, a devotee is always non-violent. He is qualified with all good characteristics. But in common world, when there is a mischief made by others, he should not forget to become angry, at least for the time being, in order to drive away the miscreants. So let me also read the second sloka, and then we can see some of the important points Prabhupada is highlighting. येन उपसृष्टात् पुरुषात् लोक युद्विजयते विश्रा विरशाम न बुद्धस्तद् वशं गच्छेत् इच्छाम् अभयम् आत्मनः. A person who desires liberation from this material world should not fall under the control of anger, because when bewildered by the anger, one becomes source of dread for all others. Purport. A devotee saintly person should not be dreadful to others, nor should anyone be source of dread to him. If one treats others with non-enmity, then no one will become his enemy. There is an example, however, of Jesus Christ, who had enemies and they crucified him. The demonic are always present and they find fault even in the saintly persons. But a saintly person never becomes angry, even if there is a very great provocation. So, probably you are able to see my presentation.
Yes, Guruji, yes.
So today we'll be discussing about these two slokas. Here Prabhupada highlights about anger. And uh, and the last session we have seen Sundarup Sham Prabhu as wonderfully presenting on various themes. You know, you've quoted about 6 to 7 themes, talking about how even Dhruva Maharaj in the elevated devotional service seen the God, still anger needs to be checked. There should be some authority always, we should be under them. There are various themes came out like that. And today theme is that back to basics. You can add this as the 8th theme or something in continuation of that. This something which I just came to know, like when I was doing it a Bhagavad Gita course. Recently, I was doing for the people preaching this 18 days Bhagavad Gita course. So when I went to the Bhagavad Gita again, sometimes I would used to not think, okay, Bhagavad Gita is there. I always used to focus, read more of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. But this Bhagavad Gita also very, very important. The basics always, we need to be very, very strong. Sometimes Prabhupada would repeat many things. So you're not the body, you're not the soul, modes of material nature, karma. But we take it for granted that this we know this. Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita is this use cases, or you can say case studies. When a lawyer have a lot of the penal codes, you will have various law books, you will have various IPC, IPS, whatever number, this is such and such, this is a criminal act done. But they also need to quote from various judgment they given. Once upon a time, this court has given this judgment. So this case studies law book is that for Srimad Bhagavatam. So we need to always study, go both, remind the basics always, then study the other things. That's a realization I got. So whenever I've been given opportunity to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, I had this fight in my constantly going on in my mind. Should I give the class or not? Because whenever we speak on the high elevated topics of Bhagavatam, we see our shortfall of not following most of the instruction given there, and we are not at mature level. So when I have to speak, which is I'm not following, it put me into really distress, and thinking, how do I do this? But as a given as a seva, today I would like to speak about the topic which I am not qualified to speak, anger. So especially 2-3 days back, my family was calling me later, in the evening we were discussing after Prashadam. Then they said, Prabhu, I have noticed some changes in you for quite some time. I said, what? You've been nowadays recently getting quite a lot of angry. What is happening? You've been stressed out. So when a person, I'm not following this and I have to speak on the anger, I was thinking, how do I do this? Should I do this or not? But I'm seeking all the Vaishnavas by confessing that I don't have this quality, but I'm going to try to speak whatever the Acharya has given, so that you bless me sufficiently so that I will try to follow this. At least I have this intention to come over this. So with this, let me pray prayers, then start with the session. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandekam Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshadarine Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pratayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanjana Rangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Besha Kripa Sindhu Vaye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirage Nashtaprayeduja Abareshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Hare Krishna. Welcome once again. So as I mentioned, today's topic is, today's theme is back to basics. But the text 31-32 talks about the anger management. As we see the anger management throughout this session, also we need to understand how important it is to going back to the basics, which is like sometimes, Prabhupada's one devotee was asking Prabhupada, always you're writing about the soul, you're not the body. In all the books, almost every page, and Prabhupada said, even after writing so many things, you're not changed. So sometimes we think, oh, it is a same discussion. Oh, it's about Gita class. I can attend some other session. But the basics always needs to be strong. Time and again, we need to keep reminding it. And this basics, when you're strong, there are so many problems you can overcome in the life, including the anger. So this is not something need to be ignored. So always we need to be on the back to basics. So in this topic today, I'm plan to cover. There is only one takeaway. The important takeaway is that if somebody asks what is it in it for me in this session today, that if anybody has any conflicts either with the spouse or in terms of work place or in terms of dealing with other relations or in the seva, when the devotees want to handle something, when they get angry, somebody is criticized, how do one overcome the differences and work together as a one family to take it forward? There will be few concepts we can look at it today. Then then we'll see how does it go. So the anger is nothing but it's like somebody is holding a hot coal and they want to throw on some other person he wants to hurt. But before he throws on the other person, he knows that he's holding a hot coal which will burn his hand first, than the other person. It is more the anger is like punished for the anger. Since you're not punishing other person through the anger, but you will get punished yourself. At least when you get, as soon as you get anger, there is your lifespan is reduced. So many hormone changes happens in the body, and it is definitely affects the health. Number one, the primemost thing. And so if somebody is you're getting anger, means you're not under control, the other person is controlling you. Krishna says that wonderfully in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Right? Krudat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vipramaha, smriti bramshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashati. He says how the mind memory is bewildered. So through this anger. So anger not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on where it is used, how it is used, for which purpose it is used. There is any of the things, including the illusion and the other modes, there is nothing wrong. It is a right or wrong. It has its own purposes all the places. So similarly, anger is such a thing. When somebody can say, I was remembering His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj saying in his book, so simplicity. He thought simple means it's really good characteristic. And he was reading and qualities of the Vaishnavas, and first most thing, Saralata, the simplicity is the best thing. And one time Prabhupada was, this Mumbai episode was happening, and he called Tamal Krishna Maharaj and said, why did you allow Giriraj Maharaj to negotiate? It's very simple. And he didn't know what does that mean, simple. Prabhupada is telling in the one book, one where your devotee should be very simple. Another place he said it's very simple, you can't handle this kind of things. So it depends on the situation where the things are used and for which purpose it is used. Similarly, there could be a positive anger. So there could be three categories of positive anger. When this happens, this is really good. One is to the self-reformation. Let's say somebody is addicted to watching TVs or games. The kids generally they do it. Or some people trying to get up early, do early sadhana, or in terms of devotee context, they want to attend Mangala Arati, but they could not able to do. They keep pressing on the snooze alarm, snooze, but they're not able to overcome their habit. Then they get an angry. Sometimes near resolution they say I'm going to do this, or sometimes they they will be unhappy with themselves. Most of us, like when we ask, do you like yourself? Then they say, no, there are a lot of anarthas there. Definitely, I want to reform. Then you once get angry about one personal bad habits or bad uh, things that you want to overcome. That time you can get angry sufficiently on yourself. That is definitely good. You can never say that, oh, why should I get angry? Um, so sometimes devotees, they uh, when they trying to do sadhana or something like that, somebody would say, Prabhu, you're still not come up to the standard. You've been in the standard for 4 rounds for many years. When we praise, then we say, sometimes the other person get offended, or you might say, okay, let me also chant. So everybody's doing it. That kind of anger is really good, so that you can come progress in Krishna conscious. The second category of anger is that somebody is shaking us from the illusion, uh, saying that, why don't you come up to the standard? Somebody's, struggling in the devotional path, and trying to shake and give a good advice, so that, we become a devotees. So that those kind of anger other person is exhibiting, it could be a Siksha Guru or any other well-wisher or anybody, then we need to see that, what is, it is really, there is a message in it, then we should work on it. We should not really get angry, but somebody is doing that. One example to understand is that generally parents try to control the kids on whatever things they need to do. Another example is Lord Ramachandra. When he was going to Sri Lanka, he was on the seashore, was patiently waiting for the Samudra Raja to help give the way so that he can construct the bridge. He was waiting, and finally took his arrow. He said, no more waiting. And he came up. So he shook from his illusion of Samudra Raja. Sometimes Acharya of Guru, senior devotees through Krishna, always through Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas, he tried to shake. Sometimes they would make, Prabhu, it has been 2 weeks, you have not been seen in the temple. What's happening? We might be in Maya, then we might give various reasons, and then they try to, bring us, shake us, and to bring us to the right path. So that kind of anger, we should take it as a blessings of the Lord, rather than thinking, oh, other person, how can he, such a senior Vaishnava, get angry? No, this is the instruction of the Lord. So that is where, it's good. The third one is the safeguard the devotees and Lord. Many examples we're going to see in this connection. Somebody is getting angry to safeguard Vaishnava Aparad when it's happening, or anything happening with the Lord. Then one should really get angry. We should not keep say, I'm humble devotee, let it happen, anything. No, that's not the case. So one example, other example I want to give from Srila Prabhupada Leela is that this is shaking from the illusion. Sometimes Prabhupada, this calls is a strong word, rascals. And one time there's one devotee was, one new bhakta or new person came in the preaching program. What is the use of Krishna conscious following? There is nothing happens. There's, he started cribbing about it. You're wasting your time and things like that. There's no transformation can happen. This is all high level. There is no substance in that. And Prabhupada really got angry. Then caught hold of his collar and shook him. I said, unless you surrender, only Krishna can act upon it. He's just simply saying, without surrendering, this is not good, that is not good. And the person realized, yeah, what he's telling is true. First of all, I need to surrender, then I can expect something. Sometimes, Prabhupada would shake, and he would have a heavy words like rascals and things like that. One time, there was one devotee who was doing a painting of the pictures, that's his seva. Then he showed, then Prabhupada looked at it and said, what is this picture? He said, this is Radha Krishna. Prabhupada said, it looks like Shiva and Parvati. Then Prabhupada explained, Krishna and Radharani, always the Navayavana, they are always sweet 16, they never grow old. You've drawn a picture more than an adult picture, that's not the way we do it. So you go and do it again. This devotee did a sketch again. He brought it again. Again, Prabhupada was not happy. He said, you have not got the concept. Then he showed his picture of Radha Govinda or any other deity, showing that, see how sweet 16 they are, always they young. You need to picture like this. You have to draw like this. The devotee thought he sufficiently understood. This time he can, instead of doing sketch, he will do the painting only. Then he wrote about the painting and brought it to Prabhupada again. Prabhupada said, still you're not got this. He was unhappy because after telling multiple times, this devotee was not taking seriously, because whenever somebody is getting angry, superiors, then we need to see whether there is any message in it for me, take it seriously. Then devotee still did not do it. The same devotee one time in Mayapur, he was painting the walls. They've been asked to paint something, then write Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. But this devotee interpreted his own Bengali. He learned something, what a small Bengali learned. He wrote his own verse. Instead of copying from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada was really angry. Then in the Bhagavatam class, Prabhupada called, who is that rascal who has done that publicly, and started chastising. When Prabhupada disciples see when Prabhupada getting angry, they never see that it is because out of his illusion is doing it. They fear, they run out here and there. Oh, this is for correction Prabhupada is doing for us. They never got angry with Prabhupada when Prabhupada got angry. They thought there is something important which we are doing wrong, we want to learn. So that's a mood. This is very important when somebody shakes us. Now, in terms of knowing who gets anger, right? This is the very, very important fundamental concepts. This will help us to keep away, or whenever there is a conflict situation arises, we would be able to segregate them. So basically, the topic is that you segregate a person character, the individuality of the person. There will be certain individual characteristics of the person will be there. You need to separate it out from the incident or the anger, because there will be certain personalities, they will have personal trait, individual characteristics. That's how they will behave. So when you come to know, understand their psychological behavior, then you would know how to deal with them properly. For example, there is a first kind of control is the control freaks, we call them, what you say that. They want to dominate everything. They want to do as per their desire. There's nothing should change. If somebody is also trying to give some suggestion, they don't want to accept it. They want to do the way they wanted it. They want to do everything. They will have a lot of anxieties. Oh, I need to do this. What if somebody would say that? And they want to have everything in micromanagement level. They think that other person, they will not have a trust in other person, he will do a perfect job, even after instructing. So they always, what happens is they will be in anxiety, they keep calling them, finding out every minute, or instructing them. They want to know what's happening around us. If you don't update something on the progress of that, I'm just talking contextualizing instead of a material this person to the devotee so that we can understand. I'll be speaking more on this. This is applicable both any person is a materialistic person or devotee. So when he has given a service, and he would say, no, I've done so much, and they try to control it. They want to see the way the family runs. They want to see, the house, the things were run at, and they're also extended in the temple the way they want to run the seva, or it could be the preaching activity, whatever done. So they will have possessive, we have very control group who can always say yes. If somebody says no, this particular seva or particular way of doing it, they'll get really angry. So what can be done? Those kind of people, when we do seva, or somebody you come across somebody who's kind of this nature, which definitely some of you would have come across. So if it is a small thing, we don't need to ignore and just move on in the life. Or sometimes you are in a situation where instead of asking their opinion, because when they get opinion, they want to be controlled and they want to do it particular way when they express it. Sometimes it is a small thing, you can just convey them, this is my decision, I'm doing it, this for your information, instead of involving them in the discussion. Give them high level details, because when you give minor details, they will get into the details and they start questioning, what is that, why you're not done, you are supposed to be done like that. So you don't insult them, hurt them, but you always put your perspective, instead of getting angry with them when you're always trying to control. Rather than you can say, I have a different perspective, or this different way to do it. I love to do it, instead of saying no, but I have this thing, so that's why I could not able to do. So this kind of changing them the way, or having supportive network, you have other devotees to explain them, make them understand. Those kind of things what would help. But it is a person's qualities like that. You can't change the behavior of that person overnight. But when we come across that, we understand this particular qualities of a person, why he's getting anger, because of his anxious, or if some might have a psychological issue as well. So we need to be empathetic and understand this quality, then we can move on. The other category, second category, is the perfectionist. Uh, this is a double-edged sword. Sometimes you want to be too perfect in this particular seva, then it might cost you something. For example, there is one incident happened which I remember in UK when I doing Bhakti, when I service in the Radha Landaneshwar. So they are very particular about timing. When Krishna Bhoga needs to be offered, 12 o'clock means it's dark 12, not even a few seconds here and there. Especially Britishers are known for its timing. This is very important. One of the lesson is that when things needs to happen, especially with Arati or when we want to offer Boga, that needs to happen on particular time. Prabhupada was very particular about. Let's say there is one devotee, new Bhakta who came, he was trying to cook for Lordship. They have generally their 4 5 menus, two sabjis, one rice, one fry. They have a list. So this devotee could not able to complete all of them. Another 2 minutes, definitely you would be completing because there are 2 3 stoves he's trying to cook. It's almost like he has to give the final things. But he said the pujari, head pujari, please give me 2 minutes. I'm done. It is 12 o'clock. 12 to you can offer it. This devotee did not listen. That pujari came, pulled the plate. 1 minute before he water cooked, he put it, he just offered it and closed the curtain, saying that I will not take any more boga to offer to the Lord. It is 12 o'clock, and he just went and 12 o'clock offered it. So there could be a person sometimes, we need to see time and circumstances on which this perfection can be applied. Or somebody's like in the kitchen, there's in a hurry, they want to cut up some potatoes quickly. And say, Prabhu, can you cut it 1 inch by 1 inch potatoes? We are already cut the other vegetables, we are already boiling it. Can you get quickly? But the perfectionist, you can't give this kind of task. What he will do, he will take literally a scale and measure it 1 inch by 1 inch. Prabhu told, let me do it, let me perfection. They take longer time. They do over endeavor. Or it's not over Krishna. There is nothing over endeavor for Krishna. Everything is Krishna seva. But sometimes we need to look into the perspective of the time, place, circumstances. What happens is those kind of people, when some service where you need to quickly get things done, or somebody is the extreme perfectionist. One time I remember there was a program, preaching program happening, and there is one Mataji and husband. She could not able to come because of various reasons, and she told her husband, "I made everything ready. The decoration is ready. This is how the Jagannath should be arranged. Then you can conduct a preaching program." So when they doing the preaching program, somehow the Baladev's crown mukut went to the Jagannath went to that. There's not a much difference, visible, noticeable difference, but there was a minor differences. The program went well. So many devotees came. It was a big successful program. But when the Mataji came back, she saw in the video the crown has got changed or the tarpeta has changed. She was so upset. She was so upset the entire night. She didn't talk. He was screaming, yelling at the Prabhu, you can't you do simple things. But you didn't see the other factor, the big picture of where this sex is going on. Sometime in the hurry, we might do make small mistakes. But you see, so many people got benefit. So many people came. Kirtan, Prasadam was perfect. The class was perfect. Everything was perfect. This one small thing. This is the perfectionist. We need to see the big picture for them. We need to tell them the big picture. Try to encourage them or engage them in seva like painting or something which requires a very perfection. They have their own sweet time. There is no time bound. And those kind of devotees, when we put this kind of personalities, we know there could be a clash in the sevas. The third category is the hardcore enjoyer, is mostly found in the karmis level, but devotees level, we don't see any hardcore enjoyer, but this can manifest in the subtle level of having more pride. They don't want to listen to authorities. They do what they don't want to check. They will like just come and let's do it. I will do it. I know everything. Then they even though it's 50 people, they cook for 100 people, say, for example, or you want to decorate this much only, they would have planned, or somebody would have allocated the services. He doesn't bother. He just comes, let me do it. And, those kind of person, they just try to do on their wish or not to check with others, superiors, what's happening in time, place, circumstances. Of course, everybody is doing it seva. But what happens is this kind of personalities will have, then you will have a lot of conflicts, right? So now the theme of the topic I was talking about is the back to basics. What is back to basics? We are going to see at least time permits 10 to 15 case studies from Srimad Bhagavatam. I said Bhagavad Gita is the law book, the penal code. Particular says, you get angry, your buddhi gets distracted and intelligence is lost. How this is applicable? This use case here, the direct case. What happened? So a couple of them we would see that today, and especially the Dhruva Maharaj case, the Prabhupada writing with the Yakshas, how Manu is trying to address them. Please note that any problem, it is very simple instructions what the great Vaishnavas, Manu is one of the Mahajanas, what is that instruction to Dhruva Maharaj? It appears that he's acting, but he's not the actor. He's killing, but he's not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by his inconceivable power, everything is happening. Here Manu is talking, your brother was not killed. It's both because of modes of material nature of previous karma. The person has acted, is just an instrument. Why are you getting angry so much for this? It's finally these three modes of material nature. It's because of impacted. You can see here, this is a positive anger. Dhruva Maharaj case, when we have discussed about various kinds of anger, three kinds of people who get it, and also we talked about the positive anger. So here, Dhruva Maharaj case, he was to shake the, he's a Kshatriya, he wants to do his duty. He will fall under the place where shake from illusion. You want to shake the other people from illusion, since they done the killing of his the innocent his brother, so he has to kill them. So he was trying to perform his duty. This is on the transcendental level. This is not something on the mundane level, which we should not misunderstand. Also, when he did not, when the Yakshas, they were over empower him with all the weapons, he did not act whimsically, let me fight, he get more anger. No, the sages came. We can see clearly from the previous chapter, the last sloka Prabhupada writes, they all came and told him, chant Narayana, take shelter of thee. See, he admits he was, fight was happening. All those devotees came and told him, the sages told him, you take shelter of Lord Krishna and take his holy name. Imagine. Then he took Narayana mantra, then he started shooting Narayana weapon. So it was as per instruction of them. Then it is just to tell us the lesson learned, we should not overboard. It looks like he is getting angry, but this all lessons for us to learn from this episode, how one should be controlling it, right? So, but the basic advice what they give, they did not give high philosophy. They said, please understand he's in the modes of material nature. I liked it, the presentation way the Sundaroksham did last time. I'm just extending, understanding the reason behind why I'm giving these different kinds of people, to understand that everybody is under modes of controls of nature. You need to understand that. If you get deeper into these modes of material nature, everybody knows mode of passion, ignorance, goodness and things like that, but we just take it. But we need to deep dive whenever we read it, go detail, then that would help us to building our basics will definitely help. So this today is very auspicious day of Shivaratri, and we can give from the example of Shiva also, as well. When Daksha was cursing him, Shiva did not react. He just walked away from that place. So the key message again, the Brahma is advising after everything happens, he kills Daksha, this goat head comes and things like that, and they want to pacify Lord Shiva. The Brahma, they are again one of the Mahajanas, what is instructing, knowing that they commit offenses because they are overpowered by the illusory energy, which is material energy, which is modes of material nature. He does not show his powers to counteract. They're telling Shiva, why are you contracting? You know that they're all acting helplessly under the power of illusory energy. Please don't get angry. It's the same message, right? Here, the important thing what we need to learn is that if when a person or a close relative or somebody is getting angry, which means that they are on different lower modes of nature. When a person is in the mode of goodness, when somebody curses him, Shiva just left. But whereas you can see the his followers and Daksha's follower, they started counter cursing each other. They were in different modes, but Shiva was not on the mode of illusion or lower mode modes. He was always above that. So he is not under the controls of mode. So he just left it. But when he want to punish Daksha, when Sati was died, then he just want to make a punish because somebody is not punished for his sins. Like how Dhruva Maharaj wants to kill another person because he killed it. Similarly, he wants to punish. This only for the purpose he came. So this is a positive anger again, and it is made to shake from illusion somebody. So now the another example of material nature is this the four Kumaras cursing cursing the cursing the Jay and Vijay. Now, what is that? They repented later. What did the Kumaras say? They talk about modes of material nature. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of their position in the modes of passion and ignorance, and they prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. They knew that they have done mistake. They said we were in the lower modes. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this krodha is in the mode of passion and ignorance. It comes out. So the solution what Prabhupada gives in all this thing is that in our when we are reading this purport, Prabhupada wonderfully gives a person hearing this Krishna conscious always try to come over these modes of material nature. Basic idea is that one should come over the modes of material nature to overcome this. Prabhupada is telling constantly hearing one always remain in the equilibrium, means he goes beyond these modes of material nature. So whenever there is other conflict happening, we need to understand that the person is fighting against the mode is helplessly. We should be angry at the modes of the person instead of taking personally on the person, but you need to see the big picture where he is trying to struggle a lot to overcome this, and we need to help them. It's very important when we grow as a leader or in the family. Sometimes they always say this non-devotee Prabhu, I always have a struggle to make them. When you grow, when the members are there, it is equally important for them to also cultivate in Krishna consciousness. One person advances too fast, another person is the other way. Always the person will be in difference of modes. But if you're also in the modes of both are in passion, like fire for fire. If you want to distinguish fire by using the fire, both will counteract, like the Jakshas in the pastime of Shiva. You can see that this is associates in the mode of passion, they counteract each other. But when you are in the mode of goodness, then either you forgive them or you try to bring them back to the modes of goodness. So it's always very important when we are you have some team or some you have to work permanently with them, somebody has that kind of characteristics, bring all of them into mode of goodness, so that this when this happens, there will be no they understand it's because of this modes of material nature or base of previous my karma. He is just an instrument. All those realization comes into picture, then it becomes really smooth. Otherwise what happens is when somebody is in the modes, you have to wait for them to come to other modes, or you go increase your standard. So to go a little bit more detail into the it is 756 to the modes of material nature, then I want to have few use cases and the application. Probably I might overshoot by 5 minutes. Please excuse me today. So when the one questions we can ask is that really free will? Somebody say, we have a free will. Krishna has given free will. I can act upon whatever I want. Let's say, for example, I want to go to next Sunday temple program. Do I have a free will? Can I decide? If you ask this question, this is one question. Second question is that, does Krishna knows past, present, and future? If you say yes, Krishna knows everything, Antaryami, he knows past, present, future. If I have a free will, how does it know that next Sunday I'm going to the temple or not? I might decide I have a free will. I might go, I may not go. How does Krishna would know? Whether Krishna would know whether I'll go to next Sunday or not? Yes, of course, Krishna would know. Then what is the question of free will here? If Krishna determines everything, he knows everything, what I'm going to do, and where is the question of free will, right? Most of the time we misunderstand this concept. The free will is mostly with Krishna. He can decide whatever he wants to do, whom he want to give mercy. We can, free will in sense, we can only just desire that I want to go to Sunday. Krishna will either approve or reject it. It's like going to Tirupati, right? Sometimes you will desire it. Can you go immediately, or you want to go to Vrindavan? The Lord needs to sanction it, even though it is free will, you want to desire it. You have a pious credit accumulated. You want to attend some program. Do you have this things happen? So even Krishna, even though desire through free will, but he has to sanction it. The other way around, if somebody takes a free will to go to the Maya route, for an example, I given the kid who is watching the game, he has a free will to do this, but once he gives a control to Maya, control manages it. What time he goes to bed, what time he will stop, it's all in Maya's control, right? So helplessly people were with the three modes of material nature suffering. So we need to understand when somebody is getting angry, he's struggling. He doesn't have a free will really much to control. He is acting upon these modes of material nature. There are a lot of slokas, Bhagavad Gita, he would talks about Devesha Gunamaya, Mamamaya, Durataya. There are so many things like that. So now what is the solution? Some of them we can do it. I'll quickly cover it because of time. Then I want to go to the few use cases as well. So there could be two kinds of people, how they react. One is explosive, spontaneous, they would blah, 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 blah. They get angry, they just still on your face. Prabhu, don't mind, I will always speak on the face. I don't keep two things, but that's not a good quality. You should know what etiquette, how you pass on this message. It's not that I'm not duplicity, I can tell face on them, anything, whatever I want. That's not a good quality. So one thing is that you can delay or put into their shoes or listen them carefully. Most of the time people come for not for advice. They want to tell something about it. As soon as they start, yeah, yeah, Prabhu, I know what you're talking about, then they'll get disappointed. It's basically some souls want to come and convey. So this kind of people have get into verbal abuse, short-tempered, spontaneous, physical abuse. This lava would explode immediately. As soon as there is a trigger point, anything of these three things is affected, right? Either they are not able to control, or they want to do something, they just checked, or they want a perfectionist, they're not allowing to do seva, then they just explode, blah 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 blah, right? The second category of people is that they would try to control the anger. They don't show, but they keep it within them. They struggle a lot, and then finally they decide, I don't want to do this seva. The first thing is comes in our mind is that rebellion mind is that I will stop this seva. I will not do it. Somebody do it. Let me. It is not the. This is the first step to fall down. Or breaking relationship, not able to chant, concentrate the mind. This kind of things happens. So there is one important lesson. There are a lot of other tips, but I just concentrate one thing. We always say I'm right, you are wrong. Instead of that, change the arrow, reverse, saying that this is person is acting in the modes of material nature. He's just an instrument. He doesn't have much control. Even if he want to go to Krishna consciousness, Krishna needs to approve his free will. Please understand that it is because of my karma. It is happening like that. Then we would understand the different styles, and we know some of the tips how to manage them. Then we will be more peaceful to manage. For example, Lord Ramachandra, I told you that example of Samudra is a positive anger. Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to protect his devotees, Nityananda Prabhu from Jagai Matai, that's a positive anger. These are more of explosive immediately. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets angry, then he wants to kill. Then we know Jogu temple, there is one Mataji, when it was getting demolished, she can't see the deities getting broken and the other devotees are beating. The lady, she started fighting against the Gundas. Imagine Mataji, a foreign land, and she didn't bother about her life. She wanted to protect the devotees, the deities they were trying to hit. And she was like, come, let me see, we can say what kind of behavior is this devotee? How can she behave like that? No. Here we can see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for his mango story. From that self, you want to improve his self. How can I offer something without it? In the lifetime, he never ate a mango. Such an angry, it's very important. Like Arjuna is doing as a seva, is Maharathi, is killing so many people. He is a positive anger as per the Lord's advice. Shringi cursing the see, if it's the Shringi is cursing, he was in the different modes of material nature. He just want to have control everything, and he freaked out without knowing what is the background of the person, and he just cursed. But whereas Parshit Maharaj was in the mode of goodness, he was expecting I need to be punished. Look at that, is my karma. Like that. Similar thing has happened with Vidura also. When Vidura was asked to go out of this Hastinapur, he was so happy. He was thanking him, Lord, profusely. Oh, thank you so much. I have opportunity to go to Tirtha Yatra now. Look at him, this because of my karma and things like that. So we can see as we progress in this, there's one theme which is coming with that. I would stop another 1 minute. When Ashwatthama needs to be punished, how they behave. So it's always mercy versus duty. As per the duty, he's supposed to be killed. Arjuna, Krishna is on the same page. Yudhishthira and Panchali, Draupadi was on the other side. So the mercy. Why you want to do this? He's a Brahmana Bandhu. He's not supposed to be killed. Show the mercy. So when this you see this trend in extreme, there could be a duty is supposed to be punished. The devotees and the higher order modes, material nature, they're trying to show mercy. Like that, when Parshit Maharaj want to check the progress of Kali, he did not kill him. Actually, he should have been killed for this heinous activity what he has done. But he's given the shelter. Look at it. We see from Prabhupada also sometimes he would get angry. He was one time Kirtan was going on and somebody's trying to pull Mataji something. He had a kartal, just threw on his other person. Sometimes we need to get angry. So it's Narada is telling like a snake story in this Prabhupada explaining. You need to show hood sometime. But this Chaitanya Charitamrita goes a different tangent altogether. This concept will not fit into Chaitanya Charitamrita. For example, Advaita Acharya, he sees as a mercy. Lord's anger is a mercy. He will try to preach Mayavada and Lord would come and beat him. He would so enjoy. This is a completely different level altogether. One time Mahaprabhu was teaching something on the Srivas Thakur. Then Then he told, what do you think about Advaita Acharya? What is his level? And he said, he's like great, like a Mahajan, like a Prahlad Maharaj is stayed at that level. Mahaprabhu really got wild. He was taking a stick and started beating Shiva Thakur. And he was surprised. What, did I tell something wrong? Then Advaita Acharya came. Mahaprabhu, why are you hitting him? He's like a son. Then Mahaprabhu said, what? You said son? You are feeling somebody is a son, then I should not hit it. Then he said, okay, he pacified. He's telling, how can you compare my dear devotee Advaita Acharya to the level of, even at the level of Prahlad Maharaj, he's beyond all those things. That's so much love we had. You can see that Mahaprabhu, Amog, in the incident of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, son-in-law, he was criticizing Mahaprabhu, but he said, I love the devotees' family, even the dog, what to speak of their family. He forgive mercifully. So we can see that here anger takes into different tangents of mercy, and always there is a duty versus mercy. The devotees always go higher and higher and forgive them. So with this, I would like to stop here. We have already time. So for any corrections, again, I please forgive me if I spoken anything which is beyond my understanding, and not to hurt any devotees, but just whatever I heard it from senior Vaishnavas I'm presenting here. And please profusely bless me, so that's only hope that I'm taking the seva. Otherwise, if there's senior Vaishnavas blessing is not there, or for the purification, this is the only two reasons I sit. Otherwise, always every time I give Bhagavatam class, I have a big fight with me. There's such a duplicity that you are dual role. You're not closer to the duplicity, one inside, outside. But I want to bridge the gap between these two, and I'm seeking profusely. That can only happen with Vaishnava's blessing. I stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. It's very visual and also very informative. Yes, back to basics, very, very important theme. I think that's like one of the things that we should always remember and strive to apply in our lives. Thank you. Devotees can unmute themselves to share their reflections, or if they have any questions, please ask Guruji directly.
Prabhu, it's wonderful, Prabhu, and so nicely you have taught us about the anger management and the different types of anger. And so you mean to say we need to have the mercy of the Lord even to go to the temple, Prabhu?
Yeah. See, not a blade of grass can move, and Krishna knows past and future.
Yes.
So the same question, then it defies, if you have a free will, how does Krishna would know how you're going to act?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you should not take it that way, but yes, when you closer to Krishna, you're acting according to Krishna, then more free will Krishna gives. The way away from Krishna, then he controls very less. He gives just desire. But when you devotees are very close, the pure devotees are there, then they'll have more free will to do whatever they want, and Krishna will try to fulfill that. Here, taking Krishna Chakra to fulfill the vows that I will protect the devotees. So when they're closer to Krishna, very close, then you will have more freedom, free will to act upon it. But Krishna is the only person has a real free will where he can choose whom he want to give mercy. You can't ask what is the logic behind it. There's no logic. He wanted it. That's it.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. But all these things you have not covered now, Prabhu.
Yeah, because of time, sometime we will do it later. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just give an example of the previous ones, right? For example, somebody who is a perfectionist, what happens? Jamadagni is trying to punish his wife for simple mistake. I know it is a mental offense is also considered as offense those days, but it's not that we should cut off like that. So some perfectionist like that. So I'm just trying to give an example, modes of material nature and things like that. For the previous slide, what I was covering. So this has a lot of examples to see. That's all.
Very nice compilation, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please pray for me so that I can overcome this. As I speak, I don't have this, so seeking Vaishnava's blessing.
Hare Krishna, Gaurchandra Gopinath Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
It's a really wonderful class and so many, practical lessons that we can apply. When I started hearing Bhagavatam at first, The first thing I heard from them is that Bhagavatam is all about applying in day-to-day life. And today, through your class, you have very nicely explained and articulated why it is so and what is that we can apply in our life, Prabhuji. I have all this conditioning type of anger. I possess all those qualities, bad qualities. I hope, you mentioned going back to basics. I think that is a very, very nice point, Prabhuji. Going back to basics.
Yeah, I was looking at the theme everywhere, right? Either this is another example, like, Hiranyakashipu talking when the family, even leave the devotees, the demonic person takes Bhagavad Gita. If you remove Hiranyakashipu Vacha, then read it, it will be Bhagavad Gita. It talks about the soul, the karma. It talks about, it gives the example how people come together as a sticks comes together in the water then separates, or the travelers, they come together, then they may go away. So the life is like that. It is because of superficial action of karma. My God, what a realization this Hiranyakashipu had, if you see that, right, it's bewildering. And, taking a revenge, similar situation. Janamejaya tried to take, because of his father killed, he trying to kill all the snakes. Same Dhruva Maharaj, his brother was killed, he was trying to take revenge. And again, he comes Brihaspati, who advises him, saying that, and why are you doing this? This is all happening because of their karma. No, you can't do that. So like that, what happens is, it's a basic. We have to remind again basic of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is wonderful.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji. That table that you explained, how to get back to basics when we are illusioned by anger, that's really helpful, Prabhuji. Yeah, really helpful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful presentation, and especially how we can apply, because I have this some of the most of this conditioning quality that you mentioned, so it's really helpful.
So I need to thank you also. Next time, don't assign me this kind of topics when I'm not qualified to speak. I'm feeling really awkward to sit in this position because such a wonderful thing, and I have to speak which I'm not following.
Okay, Prabhuji. I think we can conclude. Just one note. Apologies for ending the meeting abruptly yesterday. I had a screen froze on my laptop, so I couldn't unmute, and Prabhuji had to only conclude. It looked a little awkward. I had apologized to Prabhuji, so it won't happen again. Yes, Prabhuji, we can conclude with Vaishnava pranams.
Vancha kalpatarubhesha kripa sundhavaya vicha paditanaam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Vaishnava Meda Sambhu ki jai.
We'll meet again tomorrow. I'm concluding the meeting. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.